Sai. So welcome back to Parent Tips. This is another wonderful episode and we're talking about nannies and caregivers. Last week we talked a lot about legal issues, talked about the contract and some of the things you need to consider when drawing a contract for a caregiver. This week we're going to talk about the introduction. And as simple as it seems, when we get along with the video, you'll realize how it's important to take note of some things when you're introducing the nanny to your home. Karibu to Parent Tips, the channel for parents by parents. So now that the nanny is home, one of the first things you need to do is introduce her to the family. She needs to know about your family members, about any other people living within the home. She needs to be introduced to the children, and in turn, the family needs to know a little more about her. But above all, the children need to know that they must respect her. When it comes to matters discipline, when it comes to things that she requires of them to do within boundaries, they must understand that when you're not in the home, the nanny is actually the authority over them at that time. The second thing I always say you must do, and that's in my opinion, is if there's a camera in the house, it's important that she understands and knows that there is a camera. And I say this for two reasons. First and foremost, she's a human being and she has a right to her privacy. But secondly, telling her that there's a camera actually acts as a deterrent in case she thinks of doing anything. And so it's important to communicate that. Thirdly, she must know her role in discipline. And that depends from home to home because your boundaries are different and your expectations are different. She must understand and you must communicate to her the boundaries she has regarding disciplining the children in the home. Fourthly, she must understand the boundaries regarding interacting with family and friends. How does she behave? How does she carry herself when the family is together, when there are guests present in the house? It's important for her to understand that. Another thing you have to reel her into is family traditions. In my family, for instance, we do quiet time at the end of the day, and it's important for our nannies to be participative in that quiet time. So I don't appreciate it when the nanny is in the kitchen and we're busy doing our devotion. It's important for us as a family tradition for our nanny to join us. So what are some of your family traditions? Could it be going for holiday over Christmas? Could it be visiting relatives once in a while? Could there be activities that you do as a family that you need to involve her in or exclude her from? It's very important to communicate that to her. Last but not least, you have to introduce her to everyone around her, surrounding your family. She needs to be introduced to the teachers of the students. Sometimes you need to do that. In cases where you need to send her to the school to pick a child or to drop a child, she needs to be introduced to the neighbors, at least the neighbors that you interact with. She needs to be introduced to the security so that they can understand that this is a new member of your family and this is her role within the family. And I think once you've done that, you've covered basically everything you need to cover when it comes to introducing the nanny to your home. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Continue to interact with us on our pages. Our name is Parent Tips KE. You'll find us on Facebook, you'll find us on Instagram, and you'll find us on YouTube. Interact, interact, interact. We really appreciate your input into our conversations happening here. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. We have exciting stuff coming up ahead. I look forward completely to seeing you on Wednesday. Cheers.